Right now, on to the point.
A package of bills aimed at addressing affordability passed the Senate this week, but critics say it doesn't address the immediate needs of Californians.
Protests on the streets of Los Angeles tonight after immigration enforcement is seen across the city. After more than a century, Blue Diamond is moving out of the capital city.
It's become just too costly and inefficient.
2 high-profile trials wrap up for the week. Details from inside the courtrooms. On Bartell's back roads and education on Wildcats.
What happened to this thing?
This what happened, a Jaguar got hold of it.
Thank you for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we start with developing news tonight. We know that down in Los Angeles, we are monitoring protests tonight. We are learning several people have been detained as part of immigration operations in the city. This video shows immigration officials. This actually shows immigrants' rights advocates. They say that federal law enforcement officials were in the Fashion District, a Home Depot, and other places. That shows the immigration officials from earlier today. Right here, this video showing immigration officials earlier today outside of the Fashion District. Now, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass said tonight that the actions by ICE were meant to sow, quote, terror. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said it would not discuss the details of its operations. Tonight, protests continue in the city. Of course, we will bring you updates as we get them straight into our newsroom. Tonight, state lawmakers are racing against the clock to get their bills passed through their House of Origin. The legislative session, Democratic leaders promised to make affordability a top priority. But is that really happening? ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen is at the Capitol with what both sides are saying tonight.
At the start of this legislative session, California lawmakers had one main goal, and that was to lower the cost of living here in this state. 6 months later, Senate Democrats believe that they have made progress towards that goal, but their Republican colleagues say nothing has been accomplished with the bills that have passed and addressing the immediate needs of Californians.
This Senate must double down on our efforts to make life more affordable and livable.
Making life more affordable and livable. That was the goal of Pro Tem Senator Mike McGuire as he encouraged his colleagues to accomplish this year. And now, as the deadline to pass bills comes to a close this week, Democrats in the Senate passed 3 bills they're calling the affordability package. Senator Aisha Wahab is an author for one of those bills.
I'm extremely excited that the Senate just passed one of the most major housing affordability packages in literally decades.
The package has 3 bills. SB 254 would address utility costs and clean energy production, requiring utility companies to use the most cost-effective ways to save consumers money. SB 638 expands training programs, allowing people to get better-paying jobs, and creates a partnership with schools and colleges to expand work opportunities. And SB 681, authored by Senator Wahab, aims to lower costs for homeowners and renters by also creating a streamlined process to build more affordable housing.
Homeowners get a property tax exemption. They get to deduct the interest rate on their home mortgage. Being able to develop more and be able to streamline development, as well as protect the Surplus Land Act and many other safeguards that really prioritize affordability and developing affordable housing.
But Republican Senator Tony Strickland says this package does not address what Californians truly want: immediate relief.
But we had over 250 bills, and they only brought forward 3 in their affordability package, and none of those in their package provide immediate relief to Californians.
Senate Republicans say high gas prices are one of the main complaints they get from their constituents. This week, Senate Bill 2 failed on the Senate floor. It would have repealed recent changes made to the low carbon fuel standard that some believe would raise gas prices by 65 cents a gallon. The bill's author, Senator Brian Jones, told ABC 10 this week this was the Senate's chance to actually address affordability.
The Democrats in the legislature said no. They kicked sand into their constituents' faces one more time. They don't care about the cost of living in California.
The Democrats' affordability package now heads to the Assembly. Both Senate Republicans and Democrats tell me they're eager and willing to pass legislation that will save Californians money. At the state capitol, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
Well, it's the end of a 115-year chapter for a Sacramento icon. Blue Diamond growers announced they are closing their plant in the heart of the city, impacting hundreds of employees. Tonight, we're hearing from the company on why they made the decision. Let's go out to ABC 10's Garshpal Sangha, who's joining us live from the plant in Sacramento. Garshpal.
Yeah, Alex, and this plant has been here since the early 1900s, and thousands of drivers go by every single day on 16th Street as they make their way out of downtown onto Highway 160. But the company says this was a business decision, and that decision is impacting about 600 employees. Now, the company says they told the employees about their decision early this morning. Now, we're learning the move will begin later this year when 10% of the plant members will exit. Also, the company added that some members will get an opportunity to work at other locations. Now, here's what the company told ABC 10 when asked why this move was made at this time.
At this point, it's become just too costly and inefficient to run a global food processing business from these historic buildings that are so near the city and neighborhoods.
And the company says because of that decision, they will gain efficiencies by consolidating into the Salida and Turlock plants. Now, we're learning not everything is going to move out of town, but we're told that the headquarters and also the gift shop are going to remain here in Sacramento. Reporting live from downtown Sacramento, Garjpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Garjpal, thank you so much. And Sacramento Mayor Kevin McCarty shared this statement about today's news, saying in part, quote, "Thank you, Blue Diamond, for 115 years of partnership. Blue Diamond has been an iconic symbol of Sacramento's history in the agricultural manufacturing industry. We wish you well as you relocate to the Central Valley." Well, closing arguments were heard today in the case of Carlos Dominguez. The former UC Davis student faces two murder charges and an attempted murder charge after stabbing two people to death and attacking a third. Dominguez has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Both the defense and the prosecution discussed intent being the main deciding factor in this case. The jury now has to unanimously decide whether Carlos Dominguez is guilty of first-degree murder, meaning they believe the killings were premeditated, second-degree murder, which would mean the jury doesn't believe they were planned but still intentional, or manslaughter, means they don't believe there was intent or malice. More testimony was heard today in the trial of former MLB player Daniel Saraphini. He's accused of killing his 70-year-old father-in-law, Gary Spoor, and attempting to kill Spoor's wife, Wendy Wood, back in June of 2021. Saraphini's alleged accomplice, Samantha Scott, took the stand today. She was also arrested but took a plea deal. She said that she drove Saraphini to Tahoe City, where the in-laws lived, and was wearing similar clothes the person was wearing in the surveillance video. He had a gun, a makeshift silencer, and a face mask. She said he also had a backpack and threw all of the suspected evidence out of the window on the drive back home with Scott after the alleged murders. Coming up onto the point, President Trump says Elon Musk has lost his mind. The war of words becoming more personal.
And we are going to stick with this very consistently warm pattern. Evening delta breezes, thunderstorms in the high country. It's going to be in the 90s. Saturday and Sunday forecast after the break.
And President Trump's attempt to end the Department of Education, how the Supreme Court may already get involved. All right, so it's been really warm for us here in Sacramento, and that heat is not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's get things over to meteorologist Brendan Minchef with a look at our forecast this weekend. We're going to see some warm weather. Good time to go to the pool, I think.
A great time to go to the pool. Almost the entire summer, right? Here in California, it's a good time to go to the pool. We were almost 90 today. 89 Sacramento, much warmer than the 83 that we had yesterday. 94 in Stockton, 91 Modesto, 82 Placerville, 70s in the high country. Temperatures still on the warmer side, low 90s and upper 80s across the valley. 88 in Sacramento right now, 93 Stockton, 90 Modesto. Good news is we got that delta breeze starting to pick up, and this is going to be a feature through the weekend. So even though it will be hot, know that each evening this weekend will have that breeze associated with it. The A's are at home against the Orioles tonight, about 84 for first pitch, 78 degrees at 8 o'clock, and towards the end of the game we'll be in those low 70s. Breezy throughout the game, mild through the overnight hours, starting off in those mid to upper 50s Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. It is going to be on the warmer side. I've got low to mid 90s across the valley, warm and sunny, but again, we are going to have that delta breeze picking up through the evening hours. So much like today in the last several days, it's hot in the afternoon, but then that breeze starts to pick up, and especially in the San Joaquin Valley tomorrow, we could see that breeze a little bit on the earlier side, overspreading the valley by the time we get towards about 6 and 7 o'clock. One thing, though, to keep in mind if you're headed to the high country, we're watching for more Sierra Crest thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures remain in the low to mid-90s across the valley for about the next 7 days. Then we're back in the upper 80s as we head in towards Father's Day weekend, Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Coming up, California universities on edge, the potential Trump funding cuts that could impact higher education and research. And then on the back roads, take a stroll through a cat sanctuary designed to protect and also educate. Tonight, the war of words between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk is getting more personal. According to some lawmakers, it's now possibly impacting Trump's big, beautiful bill. In a phone call today with ABC's Jonathan Karl, Trump says Musk has, quote, lost his mind.
There's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
Now there are questions about what influence Musk has over Republican lawmakers and what it means for the future of Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Do not doubt and do not second guess and don't ever challenge the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Musk calling the bill that would fund Trump's agenda a, quote, disgusting abomination, saying it needs to be killed.
With respect to what Mr. Musk has been saying about the big, beautiful bill and overspending and things like that, I think that that dog won't hunt when you do the math properly.
Republican Congressman Thomas Massey, who voted against the bill, says Musk's comments have probably changed the bill's path forward.
People trust the guy who can land rockets backwards more with the math than they do the politicians.
With some Republican lawmakers avoiding picking sides in the bitter breakup.
I don't really care to get involved in these things.
House Democrats say the feud is a welcome development.
Right now, we're focused on killing the bill.
And tonight, another casualty of the big, beautiful breakup. President Trump is now considering giving away or selling the Tesla he bought to support Elon Musk. It's parked outside the White House. Workers at the Department of Government Efficiency are also questioning their future. They tell ABC News they are concerned they could become targets of the administration. The Trump administration is now asking the Supreme Court to reverse a lower court order that blocks the firing of some federal Department of Education employees. Workers were placed on administrative leave back in March and were expected to stop receiving salaries on June 9th. These moves are part of the president's plan to dismantle the agency. The firings were challenged by Democratic-led states, school districts, and teachers' unions. And today, the Supreme Court gave the okay for the Department of Government Efficiency to access sensitive data inside Social Security. The decision lifts a lower court injunction. The data impacted includes things like Social Security numbers, medical and mental health records, and also tax information. A federal employee union has accused DOJ of giving this information to untrained and unauthorized staffers. There's concerns tonight about the Trump administration making big cuts targeting UC and CSU schools because of California's policies. There isn't any official notification of the cuts, and we don't know which grants may be targeted. But local, state, and federal officials say everyone is bracing for the cuts and what that might mean for research and development, as well as local jobs.
Last year, UC received $2.6 billion in federal research funding just from the National Institutes of Health. UC San Francisco is the second largest recipient of NIH funding in the United States after Johns Hopkins University.
Any efforts by the Trump administration to cut federal funds are expected to be challenged in court. Well, you never know what you'll find on the back roads. And this week, it's big cats with an even bigger mission. John Bartel takes us to Fresno County to learn about Project Survival's Cat Haven, where cheetahs, jaguars, and leopards aren't just living, they're helping to protect their cousins in the wild. Take a look.
Just outside of Kings Canyon National Park, there's a hillside in the little town of Dunlap where, if you listen closely, you might hear the growls coming from wild cats.
Up here. There we go.
These growls are coming from Project Survival Cat Haven.
We're a wild animal park for cats, And our focus is conservation of cats in the wild. So what we do is educate people about what's going on with cats and then channel that hopefully to conservation work that we do in the wild.
Dale Anderson is the founder of the Cat Haven and cares for over 40 cats on his 93-acre property, including snow leopards, Anna and Elsa.
But snow leopards are very good jumpers, the best jumpers of any of the cats horizontally, can jump up to 40 feet horizontally, so the length of a school bus.
You'll learn a lot of fun cat facts while on the hour-long tour of the Haven, including how strong these cats are.
Yeah, what happened to this thing?
This what happened, a jaguar got hold of it. He got hold of it.
These are teeth holes in here.
Yes. So jaguars have the strongest jaws of any of the cats.
All the cats here were born in captivity, either in a zoo or a sanctuary, and though they are dangerous, they have become accustomed to treats. And a favorite treat, according to Wendy DeBoss, is whipped cream.
This is the magic stuff right here, just regular old...
Not a lot, just every once in a while as an incentive.
I mean, who doesn't like whipped cream? I mean...
Not only do the cats like treats, but they also like playtime. Jazz is a cheetah and requires regular exercise to stay healthy.
Cheetahs can run up to 70 miles an hour, and they have approximately 2,000 spots on them.
Have you counted all of them?
I've done it once. It was enough.
The mission of Project Survival Cat Haven is not necessarily to entertain guests, but to educate people about human and wild cat conflicts that happen around the world.
It all boils down to the same thing. What do the cats do? How do they do these things? And then how can we make it so they don't have conflict with people?
Project Survival Cat Haven is a nonprofit that goes to every continent that has wild cats and works with farmers and people in rural settings to come up with real solutions to keep humans and cats separate.
If you have snow leopards and you raise goats and sheep and you put them into a corral at night and the snow leopard jumps over the top of the corral into the pen, kills all the livestock, what do you expect people to do? They're going to go kill the snow leopard. But if we say, let's put a top on your corral, keep the snow leopard out, most people don't want to kill the snow leopard at that point.
Dale says captive cats play an important role in protecting wild cats because if the general population sees the different species, they're more likely to bond with them and learn about the animals.
They're ambassadors for their wild cousins. That's the easiest way to put it.
From Project Survival's Cat Haven in Dunlap, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the back roads.
And you can always find more Bartell's Back Road destinations on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. They are all under the Shows tab. Just scroll down to Travel, Bartell's Back Roads, and you can download the app for free straight to your TV. We're back after this. All right, a recap now on our top story tonight. We are monitoring protests in Los Angeles. It comes after several people were detained earlier today as part of immigration operations in the city. Immigrants' rights advocates say federal law enforcement officials were in the Fashion District, a Home Depot, and other places. It is something we are going to continue to monitor, so please stay with ABC 10 for updates. And June is Pride Month, and the city of Davis has a big celebration planned this weekend. If you want to check it out, this is not video from past Pride events. We're working on getting that up. There we go. This is past video from Pride events. Tomorrow, a community gathering will start at Central Park at 2 p.m. A Pride festival will be held from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Civic Center Park. And then at 8 p.m., Sophia's Thai Kitchen is hosting a Pride party. It is a full day of fun for the entire community. And we also have those details on our website. As always, thank you so much for watching and for always inviting us into your home. If you have something you think me and the team should be looking into, you know you can always reach out to us. Just email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. And we cover a lot of stories here on To The Point. So if you miss something, don't forget, you can always download our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app straight to your TV. Have a great night and a safe weekend. We'll see you right back here on Monday.